My folks, here we go again. You know what it is? It is Raw Talk with Respect with the mainstream. So I got a few things I want to talk with you about today, and one of those main things I really want to put on your brain is this, and that would encompass or entail this. What is happiness to you? What does it really entail? What does it mean to you? How do you get to that point? How do you define it in your mind? A lot will say, let me look at the definition of it, or the urban definition of it, or based on my experience, what I identify happiness to be. But what truly is happiness for you, and is it consistent in your life? And if not, why? Which is a few questions I have. So, happiness, state of euphoria. It can be from something as mundane as just feeling content to heightened sense of excitement, like when you receive a present. Or we feel a sense of safeness, accomplishment, something that really matters to you. And the reason I ask that is I want to know in your mind what the definition to you would be of happiness, because I've thought about that in my mind. What is really happiness? Is it something to smile about? Is it fleeting? And if you have that grasp of that, why don't we have that all the time? Why is it not something that we can't continuously manufacture and have all the time and impart to everyone that's around us? It deserves as much attention in your everyday life as it does in a crisis situation. I would think most people would think that. Why don't we think that, you think? Are we bogged down with everyday situations of life, work, responsibilities, kids, family, even things that really aren't our responsibilities, but we take them upon us anyway, even though we're mentally. So what can we do to change those things? Because two questions I want to ask you is one is, do we define our happiness, or is our happiness defined by us? Or is our happiness defined by someone else? Is your happiness truly defined by you? Or is your happiness right now, for the last years, not the future, but right now, is your happiness defined by you or someone else? I truly believe that's a very necessary question for us all to really take some inventory for and think about. Because I think we know both sides of that coin, and if we really take a long look at what we go through on a day-to-day basis in our life, and we take a real hard look and look at that, we're either going to decide to do one of two things. Excuse me. You're going to either decide to say in your mind, that's true. That is absolutely true. I want to make sure that, no doubt about it, that I don't do the same thing that I did yesterday and the day before. That's just going to happen. Because you're going to get tired of the things that happen every single day. Either something's going to happen that's so big, or you're going to get fed up. Everyone that I talk to, that I interact with, are special. They have talent. Excuse me. Some don't know that they do. Some know that they do and don't know what to do with it. Some know what to do with it, but are erratic with it. The truth is, it's a learning process with everybody. No one has the booklet. Some are better than others. And we learn from those that are better than us. An old adage someone said to me, if someone makes more money than you, learn what they know. Because obviously they know something you don't. If you're not too proud enough to ask. For men, especially black men, a lot of times we're too proud to ask because we know everything. And then when you don't, you understand that you don't, and it's okay not to know everything. It's okay. It's a different mentality. You lose nothing. No cool points. You're not deducted any bro points. You're still cool as a fan. You're just more educated and you're more well adept to navigate life. And the people around you know it. Because you're not just shooting bull shit. So, the happiness part. Do you define it or does someone else? I would say a lot of times in the people that you interact, if you're outside looking in, people define your happiness. Why do I say that? A couple of reasons I will say to you, and I don't want to pick on the ladies, because men do it too, but I think when I give you this example, it will resonate whether it applies to a woman or the men and what they do, and I'll give you an example for the men as well. But when you're growing up, ladies, when you are learning to put on makeup, or as you get older, you want to get cosmetic surgery or injections, whatever it may be. Now, is that bad? No. Is that good? No, it's not about bad or good. You do you. Whatever makes you confident, you knock yourself out. No one can define that. You are you, and that's all day long good. The point I'm trying to reach is there's a reason in your mind and your psyche that you feel like you need to. That's a fact. Good, bad, or ugly. So it comes somewhere in the psyche of us as a human being. We get it from somewhere. And that's what I'm talking about when it comes to happiness. What defines your happiness? How you perceived? How you perceive yourself based on someone else's perception of you? Because we're always chasing what someone else looks like. And that's the truth. We are. Why are we not happy most of the time? That's everybody. Why are we not happy most of the time? Crazy when you think about it out loud. I could ask you to name 20 things that you're thankful for, and you could write them down in less than 5 minutes. So why don't we? Because every time you turn on the TV, pull up your phone, your internet, Twitter, Facebook, whatever it may be, it's inundated with negative. And the opposite of positive is negative. The opposite of happiness is sadness. And we are a culture that thinks in black and white, right or wrong, Republican, Democrat. So you think we don't automatically revert back to that default setting? Happiness, sad, no in between, highs, lows, peaks, valleys. So what if we could even that out? Because we can go all day long and talk about the things that are our faults. But what if you could have happiness? Truly. Not every day, because you're not going to do something every single day. But just one day at a time. Did you make someone smile this week? Did you say something good to someone this week and it's Tuesday night? Did you make someone feel special without them knowing that you were going to do that? Not a friend, not a family member, not an associate, someone you don't know. Because remember, you affect people every day of your life. You know this, I know this, we all know this. And truth is, we all care. We just sometimes feel like we don't have time enough to do it because we have all these things that are pressing, and that is important too. It's important. You are important. We all are important, but we're not told that enough. And so we kind of lose sight of that because someone that's, we really care about, or we give prestige to, or respect to, doesn't tell us enough in our mind. And it goes back to you requiring someone to make you feel what you should already know. Everything that's added past that point is amazing. But that doesn't make you or break you. You are who you are. Period. Everything else is added. And everything that you do adds to others. You gotta not lose sight of that. And I kind of go into the discussion of, think about when you go to work. You're on automatic pilot. You do what you do. Because it's what you're taught to do. The same thing as what you're taught from grade school to now. And the feelings that you have and how you interact with people, you were taught to do that. And it didn't get you, or does not get you, what you're trying to accomplish. So you know it doesn't work. To some extent. For most. So it is really up to us, including myself, to consistently tell us when we're not doing those things. Because you're not hurting our feelings. And I'm not hurting your feelings when I'm saying, hey, I see this. Or when you tell me, I might not like it, probably won't like it. But if I respect you, and even if I don't, there's always some truth to what you're saying to me. And vice versa. And the people that you interact with on an everyday basis, whether you think they're dumb and don't have anything to say or not. Okay. Listen. Someone sees something. Now, how much credibility you can put in that, consider the source, but at least consider it. Don't be a fool, because you're not. And you hear what I'm saying when I say that. Completely loud and clear. You just have to take inventory of the people that are around you. I think that's one of the biggest things that I think you can learn, especially as a young adult, growing into an older adult, to where you really feel like you're in a point in life where you understand things in a different way and you feel things in a different way. If you would take the time, literally, and make an inventory of the people in your life right now, write them down. The people that you interact with consistently every now and then and whenever. And you see the things that they have in common. Take a look at it. I don't know who they are, but if you write them down, as opposed to thinking about them and the things that you believe and you don't believe, I think it'll be a clear picture to you of the people that you surround yourself with and why you feel the way you feel sometimes. Then once you know, I think happiness is achievable. Because if you surround yourself with people that don't want happiness, it's going to be tough sledding for you. And why fight against the grain? That doesn't benefit either party. And you want both parties, all parties, to win. All should win. No one should lose. There are no winners and losers. If everyone can't win, you figure out how everyone can win. Because everyone can win. If you take the time to find out. You can find out everything else in life. If you need to do something, whatever it may be, if it was that important to you, you'd find out how to do it. You got to figure out what's important to you. And your happiness will either give you more years in life for you to live and be very, very nurturing to the people, and your lineage grows further, or it's going to cause you some ulcers and, high blood pressure, and you won't be here long. I'm going to try to live as long as I can. I hope to see y'all. I really do. They say the good die young. I got a few years left. I really do. That also being said is I am understanding life in a different manner. And I'm trying to let you know in the best way I possibly can that you need to breathe and be still. You need to be happy in life. And that's simply encompassing you just slowing down. And really, literally being still. Mentally, emotionally, physically. How often in a day are you completely still? Not even 1 minute. Other than when you're sleeping. Even then you're not. That's crazy when you think about it. Every day, 365 or close to it, you're never taking the time to be still. Your mind is never taking the time to be still. Worries, thoughts, mentalities, what you're inundated with information with. Can you imagine why you're not worse in the way of believing anything that comes across your brow? It's amazing. That tells you how amazing you are and the complex nature human being you are to be able to take all that information and disseminate it and still come out and be a baller. Because you are. You're a beast. All of you are. Just need to know how to do it. Need to know how to compartmentalize that stuff and delegate it like you're a manager. We take on everything, the weight of the world, and then our happiness suffers. And then when our happiness suffers, everybody's happiness suffers. When you walk into a place and you're happy, truly happy, it radiates. And when you see it, you can't help but smile. And everyone's happy. Like that person, nobody's dancing, but they're like, I don't care. They get on the dance floor and they start dancing. And everybody's like, okay, well, I'll go ahead and do something. Be that person. Like no one's looking. Because everyone is looking. And you can handle it. Maybe sometimes, as bad as it sounds, the people you're around, their happiness for that moment in time is contingent, necessary, but really contingent upon you because they look up to you and they depend on you. And maybe that's too much to put on your plate, but there's a reason they do. They see something in you, even if you don't really truly think you see it in yourself. It's okay. There's a lot of things that we didn't see in ourselves or realize until later on. And other people we know as well. Doesn't mean it's not there now. Just means that maybe we just don't realize it. So, now that you know you have some power, because you've always known this, I'm just reiterating things that you already know. You know you have the capacity to make people smile. You know you have happiness within your heart. You're alive. Now you can walk around and be mean to everybody you want to, but most will not. Most will say, I want to impact people in a positive way. And remember this. Because you are out there impacting people in a positive way and are nice and happy to them. And who cares if someone thinks you're being fake? You're not doing it for what they think you're doing it for. You're doing it because that's who you are, and people will say you're being fake. But if you were doing it based on what they're going to say and what they're going to do, then you are being fake. Don't worry about that. Be you, and the only thing that will prove that to the people that you are showing to is not words, it's actions. And it's not just actions. It is consistent actions. And let's go one step further. When you don't want to be that person, and it's obvious, and you've learned to stay consistently that person, the credibility factor, the meter will grow. We are creatures of habit, some more than most. And a lot of times people are waiting for you to fail, fall. Oh, I told you. And they will. That's okay. In a two-part equation, they hold 50%. And guess who owes the other 50%? And guess how much you can control? And in case you were not a math major, that means you only hold 50% of any equation that you interact with. So if you only hold 50% of that equation and what you say and interact with those people, no matter what they take it as, that's all you can control. Hear me when I say this to you. If you understand that's all that you can control, it frees your mind to think nothing else other than what I have to say. Yes, everyone, some, most, few, will say, hey, you're wrong. Some will say, you're absolutely right. But keep it even. Keep it even. Your validity of what you're saying does not contingent upon someone else. It's on you. You do the due diligence. And if you're worried about when someone else is going to validate who you are and what you say, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. You're too smart for that. Truly, and I'm not just saying you're too smart for that, but I'm going to tell you what it is. And I have this conversation with people that are close to me. The little ones. Sharp as a tack. Super intelligent. But you're lazy. I am learning not to be same person, and the only reason I say it to you is because I was. Still am in some ways. And I got a lot to work on. But we're lazy. We want everything right now. Why do you think Stop and Go in 7-Eleven got in business? Come on, man. Really? We want everything right now. Right now. That's why we take things for granted until they're gone. I don't want to waste any happiness on anything other than happiness. Being sad or angry or going to bed with anxiety, waking up the next morning, going through the same thing. For those y'all that have watched The Matrix, the end of The Matrix when she goes up out the clouds into the sun and her facial expression because she hasn't seen it forever. It's like us sometimes in life. We're so in all this storm. That storm just always over us. And then every now and then we break through the clouds and see that sun and we're so excited. And then we have to still ourselves going back into that next week to that storm again. Change what's going on around you. And if you don't know how, find out. Ask around. And if you don't know that, ask people that you trust. Get some ideas. I mean, hell, I can go to YouTube and find out anything in the world what I need to do. I'm not saying you can go to YouTube and find that out, but you have some very, very deep people in your lives right now that if you tapped into those resources, they can give you some great insight if you're willing to listen and not repeat the same mistakes that they did. But you got to be willing to open your mouth. As my mom would say, closed mouths don't get fed. And you're smarter than that, people. I don't care how upset you get. I do care, but regardless of how upset you get, whether you in your mind, I'm right, I'm wrong, in your mind, whether you know they're wherever, it doesn't matter. You control 50% of that conversation, that thought process. Give hell on your 50% without emotion, with love and care, because you catch more bees with honey. It goes back to the real simple question. And this is for everyone to really, really consider. Before you go to bed tonight, when you wake up in the morning, when you check this out. Basic question to really think about. Deep. Do you define your happiness? Or does someone else define it for you? That's a really, really deep, thought-provoking question if you just take the time to think about it. Define your own happiness. Happiness breeds happiness. Positivity breeds positivity. Will there be no negative? Will there be no sadness? I'm not saying that. But the bulk of your life, you want to be happy. The bulk of your life, you want to give happiness to others. Everyone wants to smile and be happy. When you make someone smile, whether they're a little kid, older, same age, and you see the genuine happiness in their face, truly, how does that make you feel in that moment? It makes you feel amazing too. It does. Can you imagine that all the time? Or most of the time? I think it's necessary, and I think if we can do the opposite, we can do that as well. Or hell, why not try? Again, we're better than that. All day, every day. I refuse to believe different. As we say, hashtag, we got to try harder. I think we're worth it. I know we're worth it, and we got to try harder, people, to make each other happy. And I know you may think I'm on some happy, happy-go-lucky Blues Clues stuff, but the truth is, okay, whatever. You just don't know what's going on behind someone's closed doors. See, a lot of times you'll define happiness with someone that you see on TV, or a friend of yours, or associate of yours, or they're happy, and have no clue when they go home how tormented they are. And you all have examples of this in your life, past, present. But outwardly, when you see it, looks amazing. Like that lipstick on the pig stuff. But you define your happiness by it. Why? Goes back to that makeup. You get a job of boob job. Men, cosmetic, whatever you do. I am not flawless either. Not that I've had any surgery, but don't think I haven't thought about it. But my thought process is, we're looking for something. Can't tell you I haven't thought that. Because what you see is, if you do this, you'll be this. And that makes us not happy with who we are. And then it festers, and then we feed that to someone else. Because someone fed it to us. I'm not eating anymore. Those that understand me will understand me. I'm not eating anymore. You just can't tell me something and let me believe it. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. Because I know that the reason why we're not happy is because we don't know how to. We were never taught how to be happy. A semblance of it, but true happiness, it'd be just like you waking up and brushing your teeth. The golden rule, if you will. And being honest with you, we don't have happiness because sometimes we're afraid to be happy. We're afraid of the outcome. It can't be that way for me. I don't deserve happiness. I can't have happiness. My family never had happiness. My family was this. We were that. We were this. It's like buying shit from some great shirt or blouse from Target. And someone said, oh my God, girl, that was, or homeboy, that was a great shirt, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I got this from Target. Why are you saying that? Why are you discounting you when someone is telling you that, hey, that's ballin'? Talk. Don't know what it is for someone to say that you look nice and you're amazing. What do you want? Instead of just saying, I appreciate it. Because remember, you control 50%. Regardless of what they want. But we're taught this. And we're afraid to have that. And you know, the truth is, a lot of times we'll just do things out of habit. We'll just say them because it's the right thing to say. And it's a normal thing to say with no culpability. You say things to people every single day that you truly don't mean. And think in your mind, why do you do that? So, I challenge you this before I let you go tonight. Which I challenge myself in everything that I say to you, because this is me talking to myself but through an audience. I challenge you to work day by day to really impact someone that you don't right now. Whether it be someone you really don't want to talk to or just someone new. Try it. I'm going to stay on this tip all day long. Peeps, my friends, and the ones that talk to me, they understand that I am on this. It's real. I see you. I feel your energy on a totally different level. My thought process on that energy is on a different level. And people, you have it. You just don't want to see it. But it is there. What I'm telling you is that everything that I say to you on here, the reason in your mind that it resonates with you is because you think it. You think all this. Maybe you can't put it in the precise words, or at that particular time you forget, but then it reminds you of it like a dream, but you know this stuff. You choose to or not to. We all do. Until it becomes a part where it affects you personally. When it really matters to you, it matters to you. When something happens to your family or a friend that impacts you on such a visceral level, nothing ever in this world could ever happen that's similar to that you wouldn't be aware of. So, with that being said, can you imagine having the same empathy whether you experienced it or not? If you need to hear what I just said again, replay it. But can you imagine having the same empathy as if you had experienced it personally on a visceral level or not? That is where we're supposed to be. No more clear than that. That is absolutely, I think they used to pass out those little pamphlets, Computers for Dummies, Spanish for Dummies. I'm not calling anybody a dummy. That's metaphorically. You get it. But you hear what I'm saying. That's some real shit, man. That's not a lot of work. That's you being humane. It's amazing when we really put it down like that and break it down like that, that you understand. That's all it takes. But we get caught up in our feelings. And if you really stripped it down, when we are, what is the outcome? 9 times out of 10. Now, if it was the opposite, 5 times out of 10, what do you think the outcome would be? And you know, women, y'all do coupons and all that other shit. So the percentages lies there, and you know what I'm talking about. It's emotion. Anyway, to all my friends and family, thank you for tuning in. Like I said, I'm going to do it once a week, if not more. I welcome your feedback. Thank you for all the support for the last podcast when I have the emotion and feelings. And I will do, other than the raw thoughts, which is the monologue, I will do the raw talk with respect. We're not gone. We're not going anywhere. We're going to do the raw talk with respect, with the dialogue with my folks and the people that I meet. But with all this stuff going on right now, we want to talk about all these things that are going on as well. And it's important. Stop hearing about all this stuff with Meghan Markle. Stop hearing about all this stuff with Mr. Potato Head. I'm sorry. Mr. Potato Head. COVID is a big deal, people. And we're in Texas, and they think it's a game. And they're going to get your mind off of that by all this other chatter. Be smart. Protect your fam. Protect your friends. And rock that mask. Be smart. Do not be a follower and worry about what someone's saying to you and what you should do. You lead. And your mind and everything in you tells you, be smart. You don't need a TV to tell you something that you know what's up. You don't need someone on television to tell you that. Go to any restaurant, bar, or whatever, and go into a man's restaurant and watch them use the restroom and walk right out without washing their hand. And walk right up and dap someone. Hug them. Women do the same. And now you have this, and you think that this... Man, stop it. Stop. Because they ain't going to tell you that. Oh, we cool. We're going to go back, and everybody's going to be all right. Yeah, okay. Y'all keep doing that. We're going to rock the mask over here. And we're going to look at y'all. Because we know what that is. Hope you do the same to my friends and fam. And I know you will. Because a lot of people that I know and love work in the industry. And I love my family. And we going to rock them bad boys. So, if you want to fall for the okie doke, don't do it. Don't do it. Do mainstream. Love you all. Great thoughts for this week. Make your week the best week it can and not just your week. I truly encourage you to make a difference in somebody else's week. Someone needs you this week. Someone needs your words. Someone needs your affection. Someone needs your attention. And I don't mean all the time. Just a few moments. That's all it takes. A word or two, a look or two, a sincerity of any sorts. That's how you feel when it's done to you. Give it back. Don't hold on to it. The mainstream. Talk to you soon. Be good. Be good to each other.